Okay, thank you very much. I was just looking at some more stats. This stat site, which has been made by the volunteers, the Interstellar Correspondence, is fantastic. It has a load of numbers. It's at at.eve-ic.net, and you can go look at some stuff. Do you know what? The most fielded ship so far actually has a really, really good survival rate. It's at 53%.
Because it has a ridiculous tank.
What is it?
The Tengu.
Yes, it is. It certainly is. It does have a ridiculous tank, and it is a really, really good ship. The reason we're seeing so many Tengus are, we used to see a lot of Drakes, especially before the Tech 3 ships came out. Are they just like the bigger brother that's just a lot better?
They're a lot faster. They do the same things with a stronger tank, and they're faster, which if you're doing these kite teams is pretty key.
All right, yeah, they're really, really interesting. Some of the other ships don't really nearly do as well. The Sleipnir is also doing really, really well. We're seeing that in a lot of teams as well. Interesting stats. Anyway, go check it out. If you are on the internet, go check it out. That was a full-on Minotaur Rush team.
Yes. A lot of damage coming from those Cyclones and those Sleipnirs. It's a very interesting variation. We saw Black Legion using a lot of the battlecruiser rush teams with Cyclones and Brutuses and the prelims, and this is basically the 10-man continuation of that. As many damage ships as possible, so that even if you're up against curses like they were there, you can't track and disrupt all of those ships.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's interesting to see that they didn't have any trouble facing two curses. You know, that's... When we first looked at the setups, when they first started kind of closing on each other, it seemed like there might be enough tracking disruption that they could tank all that damage, but it was just too much, which is, I don't know, good to note.
Yeah. All right, so the curses lost. The next contest we have is from Shattered Crystal. It's the next match. We are giving away GTCs. Let's see here. It's the predict the winner of the last match. Before the break, we have a match at 17:20. It is Lack of Imagination versus Bane. Go to the Twitter feed and predict the winner. After that, we'll have a short break. Then we'll be back around 6:10. Around 6:10 or 18:10. It is Pandemic Legion versus Unaffiliated. That will kick off our evening broadcast. You guys won't be sitting here, but going through the list, what's going to be exciting tonight?
Well, seeing PL and Hydra both fighting is going to be pretty huge. If they can both win their next matches, it means that they'll both be guaranteed to go through, which means we could see some very interesting stuff and when they face each other next Saturday. Darkside versus -10 will also be good. Kadeshi versus Wildly Inappropriate. I'm looking forward to all those fights.
Definitely.
Yeah, he named all the matches, so I agree. It will be interesting.
Triple A and Raiden as well.
Mm-hmm.
None of those teams. Raiden looked, I don't know. It's. I kind of hope that one of them will recover and just be amazing.
I'm pretty sure Raiden will.
Yeah, they might, yeah. And Wydot. I like Wydot. They're playing against the Kadeshi, who are also not a terrible team.
Yeah, I think that might be a good one. They're both the winners from yesterday,
from the Group A. Yeah.
So that's important, and it should be close.
Yeah. And after, at the end of the day, we'll be able to see some of the 2-win teams who are virtually guaranteed getting into the next round. Mm-hmm. Is it likely that we'll see some teams not show up next week because they just don't care?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
You're always better off showing up, even just to get the practice, to throw around a comedy team, to try to use that match to knock out an opponent that you think could be trouble.
Yeah, I mean, you only get to fight on TV so often. It would be weird to just have something better to do.
Maybe drop some SBUs in joke space.
Yeah, and I mean, but you're not likely to see people get their super expensive officer fit.
I think some of the matches next week will be more comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be ones that people don't. They're not invested in the result so much as they're invested in being on TV.
But in some of the matches, you will have teams that are fighting for their life, and in that case, like if you have PL and Hydra lose, or even just one of them lose, then you're going to see a must-win match for one of them or both of them, and that could be huge.
Yeah. But neither of them are going to lose.
And we'll see.
All right. So we had Sinfil yesterday talking to us about the store, which you've also been involved in.
Yep. So that's going to be released in the next few weeks in the June update to TQ. It's an opportunity for us to give players some of the things they've been asking for a lot of time. In the first round, we're not going to be seeing this, although there will be one special ship that's going to be in there, but in the longer term, what we want to see is to be able to let players apply decals to their ships, have special skins that they'll be able to put on. Also, with the advent of Incarna, being able to buy cool threads to be able to walk around in the stations, show off how rich they are, how cool they are, and yeah, impress each other.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, I want to know more ships you're going to bring out. Starting with the Scorpion.
Yeah, so the Scorpion's the first one. I don't know. I'm sure that's been...
Actually, so Sinfidel actually had a picture of it.
Yeah,
oh,
we
really?
saw it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I didn't see that one yesterday. So yeah, I'm glad I wasn't revealing anything I shouldn't be revealing just yet. No. But yeah, so the Scorpion's in there.
Right there.
We have some, very sexy. We have some technical things to sort out. So the Scorpion, as we know, was like reskinned the basic Scorpion's reskinned into a really cool new high standard release or two ago, I believe.
Fantastic.
Which used a whole new kind of way of doing that, which is necessary for us to do to all of the ships before we can reskin them and allow you guys to customize them. So that's going to be happening soon.
Well, I was going to say, would you ever consider an alternate model for the same ship?
Model as in terms of different geometry, like different shapes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That gets more complex. So whenever we're not just changing the textures or the colours of the ship, then that becomes a whole new modelling task, which basically you have to start from the beginning again and kind of build it from nothing. So
but what if I'll give you $100?
Then definitely, come on.
I know it would be difficult, but if you can get us a Taylor Swift themed Tengu, Habit will love you forever. I can promise you that.
Well, I mean, if you at some point if you can design the ship skins, you might be able to build your own.
Don't let people design the ship skins. The whole skin, so just every ship is bright pink and has a pop star on it. I guess that's fine.
Yeah. And just to reiterate as well what Sinfidel said, the Ishikona Watch Scorpion is not statistically different than the normal Scorpion. You'll simply be able to trade in your Scorpion model with some Aurum to have the skin changed. It won't do anything differently. Yep. Apart from make you look cooler than everyone else.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So,
all right, well that's going to be good.
That would help my engageability, wouldn't it?
Everyone wants to shoot.
It's going to be much more fun to kill people that have invested money in those
Absolutely.
skins.
Because the one thing the Scorpion needs is more incentive to kill it.
All right, so we had a question from Mintchip. Let's see if we have something else here. Rabbi Tikwa asks, what's the better frigate in the role of a tackler, the Dramiel or the Daredevil?
Dramiel?
Dramiel's a lot more survivable. The extra speed it gets, but the Daredevil's webs are really nice. So if you can manage to keep the Daredevil alive, I would go with it. But
and Daredevil's
that's really
much
hard.
slower as well?
Yeah, it's a lot slower. So if you happen to have a lot of rep drones, maybe.
And Daredevil does a lot of damage as well, but that doesn't matter so much.
But it just stops stuff dead with the webs.
Right.
For now, at least, CCP Tallest has posted a thread about changes to the Dramiel and to logistic ships in the features and ideas section of the forum. So I think it'll still be faster, but not ridiculously faster.
It does seem a little too popular at the moment.
Yeah, and also to logistic ships, who have some weird stat that I don't remember is what is right now. That was just completely different from every other ship, and he just said it right, basically. So anyway, head over to the feature and ideas forum, and you can see what he's thinking about.
By the way, I don't know if we have time, but I thought of, yesterday we had a question about balance, and you're the balance guy, but about whether or not balance can be not boring, like whether you can balance without making things less interesting. And I thought of a really good example of that you guys did, which was NOS. NOS was a mechanic that was really overpowered, and when it got rebalanced, it actually got a lot more interesting and created new decisions in the game rather than eliminating decisions. Because we went to NOS and Newts, and they have different advantages, and I don't know why you're smirking at me.
I'm just thinking about monkeys. Whenever we have the balance discussion, I think about monkeys.
Yeah, because your presentation.
Yes. If you go to eVegas, I will be talking about monkeys and balancing and how those two are intimately connected. But yeah, that is a very, very good point. And we'll see more ship balancing. CCP Tallest has taken it on to continually see if we can't shake things up a little.
That's fantastic.
I think it's good. So anyway, what we came here for, the questions. the root asks, why are we seeing a lot of Minmatar heavy teams? Is it because of the point changes? Is it PvP style that just changes?
The thing that made Minmatar explode in the tournament was when the autocannon changes came through. So the ammo changes and the general changes to autocannons like a year and a half back. It buffed them, but the point values all stayed the same. So you ended up with Sleipnirs being really good. And there definitely are a lot of other teams that work really well. Caldari's been used a lot. There's been a lot of Galent teams with the Proteuses. But that's when you really saw the number of Minmatar ships rise. Before that, it was really like the older tournaments, almost no Minmatar ships.
There was a lot of fleet stabbers.
The fleet stabber that one
Yeah,
year.
that's true.
But you go further back and it's just all Ravens all the time.
You go much, yeah. All I remember from the really old tournaments is like one Absolution and one Dominic's, and they all had Nosses and they all tanked forever. But
Right.
good thing that's not still like that. That was boring.
A little bit. When we had, I don't think we had any logistics ship restrictions back in the day.
There was, yeah. Well,
There used to be just one allowed.
right. You used to have the
We used to have 2 as well.
And then 2
Yeah.
for a while.
yeah.
And then we'd have like...
Way back, you had like class. You had to have one of each
Yeah,
class.
That's true. That's
so that
true.
was
One of the
a
first
built-in
ones. Yeah.
restriction. But then, yeah, it was less restricted then after that for a while. Dual logistics was
Boring.
boring.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Dual logistics and the Dominic's remote repping Circle Jerk Fest. They were pretty fucking awful. Oi. Oi. That awful. Anywho. Lack of imagination versus Spain. Did I mention that I have every single match right so far?
Do you really?
Wow.
Yeah, I do. So, lack of imagination versus Spain.
I'm going with Bane.
Yeah, that's what I circled at some point. So
Bane here too. Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Bane as well. The matches will be ready in just about a minute or two. So what are you guys going to be up to after the break?
We're going to be over in the commentary booth.
both of us.
Trying to follow up after Shadu, which is a tough
Yeah,
task.
I don't even want to go in there. Those guys are too good.
So you guys are going to go in here and I'll probably get the other guys.
You're
Yes,
gonna
you
get
will.
Michael Bolton.
I'm going to get Michael Bolton.
Yeah.
Will
wonderful.
return. Yes.
And
Kill
we're
2
not-
didn't kill him, surprisingly.
we don't have to. No Zastro
No Sastro.
in the afternoon.
Oh, so I'm
Yeah.
basically getting Shadu and Michael Bolton.
That's right.
That is an
That'll
all-star
be
team right there.
Interesting combination.
I want to take just a short opportunity to clear up. I love Michael Bolton.
Yeah,
I was hard on him yesterday.
he is a good guy.
Me and him take showers together.
Really?
We don't.
And you know what? Compared to many of the other experts who have very long EVE histories, that guy has caught up incredibly quickly.
This
yeah.
whole team is like.
Yes.
We didn't even tell. Yesterday we put what was it? You and Zastro. We didn't tell them how the commentary booth worked.
We were basically just throwing
We
in
just
there.
threw them into that cave and
Pressing
they
buttons
immediately
randomly.
yeah, worked out just fine.
All right. So Bane all the way around?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.